What's up, bro? 6 a.m, 6:50 a.m, 6:55. I've just finished back and forearms workout and my morning cardio. Been up since 4, prayed Fajr, did my morning routine as always. And if you've come on this video today, I want you to know what it will actually take to turn your life around. Because people love to look at who I am now. They'll look at me disciplined, they look at me waking up at 4 a.m, they look at me having run my own business, they look at me not having any real significant vices that have a grip over me. And they just think it's easy. They just think like people that are disciplined have always been this way. They just think that people that run a business, it's so easy to do. And you just get money on tap and then you just go travel the world. Social media has lied to you so much about what it actually takes to be successful. What it actually takes to win. What it actually takes to turn your life around and become someone of value. Because anyone can show you their glossy morning routine on Instagram. You can see me doing my push-ups on Instagram and you might think, oh, it's really easy, he's up at 4. And some of you make excuses. Oh, you're not getting enough sleep. Why are you up at 4 a.m? So many people underestimate the level of sacrifice that you need to go to achieve your goals. If you're still sat in that same house with the same people, smoking the same weed, smoking the same drugs, going out to the same parties, chasing the same girls, and maybe you've moved on to different girls now, but they're all the same when you're chasing your lustful desires. Maybe you're you're hanging around with different people and different parties, and maybe you do less drugs now, so you think you've reformed. You're still doing the same shit, brother. Maybe things are different now because you found someone that's going to help you with some Forex signals. Or you and your friends are now talking about how to do dropshipping together and things are going to be different this time. Yeah. Nothing will ever, ever, ever change for you until you change what is in yourself. Allah says in the Quran, God will not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. So even if you are taking these little strides, these little steps, like, oh, you switched up the partying now and you're doing less drugs and you're chasing different girls and you're trying some business models, until you change what is in yourself, none of this will stick. None of it at all, and it's all pointless bullshit. And the reason I'm able to say this is because I did the exact same things. Rather than chasing 10 girls, I was like, right, I'll just speak to 2 or 3. Rather than going and doing coke 7 days a week, I'll just smoke weed more. I thought that I could make money through all these business models without actually understanding them. I thought that I could better my life without understanding the sacrifice. But what it actually means to be successful is to go down the path that so many others haven't walked. And so many people in your situation, so many people will keep doing these drugs for the rest of their lives. Believe me, I've seen it. I know people my age, 23, 24, they're still doing the same partying. They're still going on coke benders. They're still chasing after girls lustfully. Because not everyone goes through development. There isn't just this magical age where you just suddenly get your life in check. There does not exist. And I used to think this for so long. I was like, yeah, well, when I turn 30, I'll come back to religion and I'll just go and move to Saudi. What a flippin' idiot. Because God does not change the condition of a people until they change what is in themselves. And that starts with making that decision today. The longer that you prolong these decisions, the more ingrained the degeneracy, the women, the drugs, the lack of God, the lack of purpose becomes ingrained in who you are. the more you're going to keep caving into these vices, and the harder and harder and harder it's going to be to break them. And you need to ask yourself, why would you delay becoming the man that you're supposed to be when you could just do it now? What is actually holding you back? What's so messed up in your brain that you think that you even have the opportunity to be able to do it later? We're not promised tomorrow, brother. We're not even promised today. So do you want to go out knowing that you are still a loser, still a bum? Do you want to know that you still couldn't look your parents in the eyes? Because you know you're not living up to your potential. You know that you're disappointing them every time you go out and sin and do all of these wrong things. You know that they're still working, they're getting old, and you're doing nothing about it. What about your kids? What about your kids? Maybe you've got kids now or your future kids. How are you going to be a good role model for them if you keep delaying your change until tomorrow? Maybe you want this legacy. Maybe you love the idea of having the kids. A bit of your offspring, a bit of your genetic legacy. What kind of world are you going to bring them into? And what kind of lessons are you going to teach them if you don't even have a grip on your own mind? 2 years ago, I had to make these decisions all for myself. And I didn't have anyone guiding me through this. I didn't have anyone telling me what to do. But I had the one thing that most people don't. And that's I had a solid relationship with Allah. After years of neglecting him, after years of going away from the path, I was praying. And I was still making haram money. I should have ended up dead or in jail. I was still going on benders, slipping up 3 times a week. I was still smoking weed every day to numb my pain, self-inflicted. But I had the ability to put my head on the floor 5 times a day and ask for a way out. And luckily my brother turned back to Islam at this time too. So we had to keep each other accountable there. And if I didn't pray, if I didn't ask for a way out, I believe I'd probably still be doing the same stuff because I didn't have a strong enough anchor. I wasn't strong enough on my own. I needed God. I needed that help. I needed that guidance. But it all changed when I was laying in bed after a bender and I was already creating a new identity for myself because I was trying business models and all this kind of stuff, but I was actually trying to stick with them. Like, I lost 2K on Forex, and it didn't work out because I wasn't understanding it, but I still stuck with it for like 3 or 4 months because I remember that 50 cent quote, and it was like, you can't do something without getting paid for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. How do you ever expect to be successful? And that really rung true for me. I was like, right, if I quit, then who am I? And I was still consumed by my vices, but I still had willpower. And obviously it didn't work out because I didn't have the right systems or understanding, but I was putting my energy in the right direction for once. So I still stuck at that. I lost a couple grand. I was trying to move away from the haram business and I was trying to really get my life in check. So I put so much energy into the world that I was using all of my addictive behaviors to go into success and business. And when I had that realization that I want to be successful and I'm still doing these drugs all the time and I'm not really changed, I'm just lying to myself and saying that I do, saying that I have changed. Because you can try and do all this shit, bro. You might cope and be like, oh, Jordan Belfort, flipping, he did drugs and he was successful. Do you want to be Jordan Belfort? Look what that ended him. Look where that landed him. We're looking to be more than just money. If you look at Jordan Belfort and be like, yeah, well, he's got money, so I want to live that life. It's 2025. Times have changed. We're living in in my world, it's less hedonistic. In my world that I've created for myself, it's about the pursuit of purpose. But then in the old world that I lived in, because it was all I could see was the girls. All I could see was the partying. All I could see was, even when I get money, I'm just going to party and pop bottles in the club. That's all I could see, because that's all I surrounded myself with. That's what I thought life was. That's when I looked up to people like Jordan Belfort, or like in their Degenerate days, the Tates, when they were doing the partying. I used to look up to that because that's all I surrounded myself with. But things have changed now. Things have changed. It's cooler to have your relationship with God nailed down. It's cooler to wake up early and put yourself through things you don't want to do. It's cooler to have that success and retire your family. It's cooler to do all of these things because you don't have to be hedonistic to be successful. You can live a life of purpose and be successful. You can live a life beyond your wildest dreams, but it all starts with making that decision. And I had to make that decision because I realized if I want all this success, I can't be doing these drugs because it doesn't last. All my habits don't stick. If I want to be a good Muslim, I have to stop doing these drugs. I have to quit these vices because they are not serving me. And they are not serving the man that I am trying to become. The best part about this is, the lower that you've actually gone, the more drugs you've done, the more women you've slept with, the more partying you've done, the more years you've wasted, the further you've strayed from the path, the bigger the catapult effects this will give you. I knew people that were lukewarm in the partying, lukewarm with their drug addictions. They didn't have the fire, and they didn't have the resolve. They didn't have the what the fuck am I doing moment like I did, where I was like, what the fuck? I need to sort my life out now. 2 years ago, lay in my bed, I can't breathe, my nostrils blocked. I've had multiple panic attacks thinking I'm gonna die. They didn't have that realization of what the fuck am I doing? I need to fix my life now. Otherwise, I'm going to end up dead or in jail or continuing to do this stuff with no purpose. They couldn't feel that pain as much because they were lukewarm. They were in and out, don't really worry about anything. And I find this stuff kind of disgusting. You know, when people like half commit towards their goals, the lower that you've gone, the more catapult effects you have to surpass everyone. The level of sacrifice determines the level of your success. So the more that you crave these drugs, the more that you crave this degeneracy, the more that you crave all of that bad life, the more forward momentum you have to actually propel yourself forward. The more forward momentum you have to achieve more than the 99%, because you're not normal. You get addicted to things. You get obsessive with things. You use that obsession and channel it towards success. You use these things to actually craft yourself into a better man. But it doesn't start with delaying for later. It doesn't start with, oh, well, yeah, in 10 years I should be able to sort my life out. My 20s are for having fun and partying. Your 20s are for building. Your 20s are for... I feel like I'm so behind. I'm 23. I turn 24 tomorrow. And I'm doing all right. I do consistently over 10K a month in my business. I'm in decent shape. I'm getting in better shape, making up for all the mistakes I made last year. I'm vice free. I've got a good relationship with God. I'm on track to achieve the goals that I've set out for myself. I'm outperforming most people. But I feel like I'm behind because I know I've not tapped into my full potential. And brother, you have so much more potential than you realize. And I want you to succeed and I want you to win. But the longer that you make these excuses for yourself, the more that gets ingrained with your identity. You've already been through enough. You've been through the struggle. You've been through the hardship. It doesn't even have to be drugs. Maybe your thing was something else. Gambling, porn, flipping, women, food. Maybe you're fat. Just all of these things. They all stem from the same root, and that's a lack of self-respect. And that's a lack of purpose. And once you're able to start channeling that purpose into the right things that are going to mold you into the best man that your family is desiring, that your future self is desiring, that God is desiring for you to be, that's the day you'll never look back. I never looked back since that day 2 years ago, because I know how broken I felt. I know what was going on in my mind for months before that. I knew I needed to stop. And finally, the catalyst was there. I still slipped up a couple of times after that, but the catalyst was there for me to get my shit into gear. Then within a year from that, I'm running my sales agency. Then within a year, I scaled that up to 7 figures, but a lot of it didn't materialize because the clients that we trusted to fulfill the jobs didn't get it done. But a year on from that, now I'm doing consistently over 10k a month. And that is just scraping the barrel. Like, I'm always going to be grateful for the things that I have, because I know that Allah will increase me. And you can't pour from an empty cup. So the more grateful you are, the more abundance you have. But I know that this is just the start. This is just the beginning. And I know that I've already impacted so many lives over the past year, just sharing my story and building my mindset that I want to share it with other people. I don't want to keep it to myself. The more people that I tell, the more impact that I have, the more satisfied I feel. The more I feel like I'm actually making a change in the world. The more I feel like I'm living out my purpose. The more I feel like I'm making up for all of the years of mistakes that I had. The more I feel like I'm making it up to that younger version of myself that made all of those flipping wrong choices, that did all of the degeneracy, that disobeyed God, that was in the cycle of despair for so long. You always feel like there's no way out because you're conditioned that way. You feel like there's no way out because you haven't given yourself the permission to find a way out. You feel like there's no way out because that's all you surround yourself with. But I'm telling you, brother, on the other side of your sacrifice is a life, a utopia beyond your wildest dreams. Like, I'm literally picturing it right now. It's like gardens with flipping butterflies and stuff running around, and that's just the way my mind works sometimes. But what I want you to see is you need to paint out the direction of where you actually want to go. I know that Dubai I want to go to increasingly, because every time I've gone there I've always been energetic and always been excited to be around that environment, and it's always made me push harder. And I like Muslim countries because I compare like these modern world Muslim countries to like America. Yeah, they're not perfect, but they've still got some values. You can hear the call to prayer. The food you don't have to worry about, and got that good sense of community. And I want to strive to be my best self every day. Every single day. I'm not going to miss on my early morning wake-ups. I'm not going to miss praying Fajr. I'm not going to miss on my morning routine. I'm not going to miss being the man that I need to be every single day. Because that derives me pleasure. And knowing that I can have that impact on other people as well, that's what derives me pleasure. Over the past year, so many people that have been in the vicinity, they've always said, once they took on the mindset, they took their habits, and that translated into the rest of their lives. Some of them had better results than me. Some of the guys on the sales team, I wasn't hammering sales down their throat all the time. It was mainly mindset and habits, and then sales. Because once you nail down your mindset and habits, build the unbreakable mindset reinforced by your daily habits, success is bound to come to you. Success has no option but to be drawn to you, because you're putting in the input every day, and you're becoming the man that's worth more than money. You're becoming the man that's worthy of this success. And that's what I want to spread. None of this guru bullshit. Oh, I've got 10k a month. You have so much more potential than you realise, bro. The depth of your struggle truly does determine the height of your success. And once you start making that decision to put away the excuses, put away the vices, and become the man that you said you were going to be, I promise you, things only go up from here. Keep pushing.